A warning about cell phone safety could be a lifesaver.
No kidding. Consumer reporter Steve Noviello broke the story that's gone viral on YouTube. Steve, you've heard from so many people about this. Good morning.
Yeah, this is some pretty scary stuff that's really resonated with viewers across the country and across the world. It starts with the story of 13-year-old Ariel Toll-Free here in North Texas. Take a look at the video we've got for you. She did something that a lot of 13-year-old girls do. She fell asleep with her cell phone under her pillow. And while she slept, it's thought that the battery overheated and swelled and started the phone smoldering. It smoldered all night, burned a hole through the pillow, through the mattress, all while she slept on top of it. She woke up the next morning to find it. The manufacturer points to two things. One, this was a replacement battery, and two, there is actually a warning against specifically this kind of behavior. It says that covering the device with bedding, your body, thick clothing could affect airflow and may pose a possible risk of fire or explosion. That warning, by the way, is on page 208 of the user manual, a warning that this consumer and many just like her probably have never read.
Now, and you say don't cover it with clothing, like my pocket that I put it in?
Believe it or not, yes. We spoke with the Consumer Product Safety Commission earlier in the week to ask if they thought that there needed to be better safety standards for rechargeable lithium-ion batteries, and they say no. They feel the safety standards that were set back in 2007 are A-OK. What they need is to make sure that the manufacturers are adhering to them and that consumers are adhering to best practices. Some of those best practices include things like don't keep your cell phone in your pocket. If you do keep it in your pocket, make sure there's no change or keys or any sort of metal that comes into contact with it. You want to keep it away from pressure, so that means if it's in your handbag, ladies, always on the top, never among all of the stuff to reduce any sort of pressure, never any sort of heat. So if you're out by the pool, you don't want to have your cell phone with you. A lot of folks, if they get the phone wet, they try and dry it with a hair dryer. That's a big no-no. And of course, you always want to keep it well ventilated. And they say, and this is very strange for the CPSC to say this, you want to use genuine manufacturers' parts when it comes to chargers to make sure that you have the proper voltage. Unusual for them to recommend specific brands for products, but in this case, they say for consumers it's very important.
Yeah, after I saw the story, I started looking at my phone, checking the battery and stuff. Are there any warning signs? Like, how do you know that this, would you know that might happen?
You know, it's interesting. We've gotten literally hundreds of emails from folks from across the country and across the world because, of course, the story is just everywhere now. And a lot of them tell the same exact story. Replacement battery or not, their phones will start to overheat on the charger or sometimes even off the charger. There are a couple of things you want to look out for. First up, a hot phone could mean that the battery is about to malfunction. Also, you want to do things like when you're charging your phone, charge it with the glass side down so that the battery can be better ventilated. And here's an interesting thing as well. I know a lot of people make this mistake. You drop the cell phone on the ground, and of course, the first thing that you do is you check the glass to make sure that it hasn't shattered. You don't have to get it fixed, right? But if you have one of these cell phones where you can remove the back and access the battery, you actually want to take it apart and check out the battery to make sure there are no dings or dents or scratches or splits. All of those could cause the battery to malfunction, to overheat and swell, and possibly to explode. We have a link to the original story right now on our station website, myfoxdfw.com.
Something else to worry about.
Or not. Thanks, Steve.